Good afternoon, fellow patriots. Today's video we're going to be discussing China. Yeah, I discussed it a little bit in my previous videos. But yeah, it's like US, Australia, India, and Japan is going to talk about old China and their overreach, their powers. This is posted, well, it's probably about a half hour ago now by, I guess, Meri Yamaguchi from Tokyo, from the Associated Press. Foreign ministers from 4 Indo-Pacific nations known as the Quad Group are gathering in Tokyo on Tuesday for talks that Japan hopes will increase their involvement in a regional initiative called Free and Open Indo-Pacific, aimed at countering China's growing assertiveness. The meeting, the first in-person talks among the foreign ministers since the coronavirus pandemic broke out, brings together U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, Australian Foreign Minister Marise Payne, Indian Minister of External Affairs. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that because I don't want to butcher it. And Japanese Foreign Minister Toshimitsu Motegi. I'm sorry, but I don't want to butcher that. Japanese officials say they will discuss the impact of the coronavirus pandemic, as well as the Free and Open Indo-Pacific initiative for greater security and economic cooperation that Japan and the U.S. have been pushing to bring together like-minded countries that share concerns about China's growing assertiveness and influence. Well, China is being very assertive lately, and they're trying to get as many allies as they can on their side, but due to their severe assertiveness and the fact that, if they make deals and anything, they want to have the ultimate power, it's not working out too good for them. On his way to Tokyo, Pompeo told reporters that the 4 countries hope to have some significant achievements at the meeting, but did not elaborate. The talks come weeks ahead of the U.S. presidential election and amid escalating tensions between the U.S. and China over the virus, trade, technology, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and human rights. Pompeo is attending the Quad meeting, though he canceled subsequent planned visits to South Korea and Mongolia after President Donald Trump was hospitalized with coronavirus. Now, human rights. I can't say what should happen to China, but some severe stuff should happen to China. They are literally rounding people up, putting them in concentration camps, and harvesting their organs. They are taking living people, putting them in concentration camps, shaving them bald, selling off their hair, and then cutting them open and harvesting their organs and selling them. This is what communism and socialism brings you, people. I haven't brought up Germany in the early 1940s because, generally talk about that, particular person is a no-no on YouTube. So I've avoided bringing that up, but, it's akin to that. Look at the Holocaust. That's kind of going on right now in China. And yes, the Chinese government knows about it. Chinese people can't do nothing about it. Government has them under their thumb, and if they try, the talks follow a recent flare-up in tensions between China and India over their disputed Himalayan border, Relations between Australia and China have also deteriorated in recent months. Japan, meanwhile, is concerned about China's claim to the Japanese-controlled Senkaku Islands, called Diaoyu, I guess that's how you pronounce it, in China, in the East China Sea. Japan also considers China's growing military activity to be a security threat. Japan's annual defense policy paper in July accused China of unilaterally challenging the status quo in the South China Sea, where it has built and militarized man-made islands and is assertively pressing its claim to virtually all of the sea's key fisheries and waterways. Yeah, China's a big country. No doubt about that. And they think because they're so big, they can bully all the little countries around, and the little countries have to bow down to them and just accept it. Why? Because if not, China will come in and crush you. New Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga will make his in-person diplomatic debut when he attends part of the Quad meeting. He will also hold separate talks with Pompeo on deepening the Japan-U.S. alliance and the FOIP. Yes, Kitty. The world is possibly becoming even more unpredictable and uncontrollable due to heightening selfish nationalism and growing tension between the U.S. and China, Suga said in an interview with Japanese media on Monday. He said he will pursue diplomacy that is based on the Japan-U.S. alliance as a cornerstone and strategically promote the FOIP while establishing stable relations with neighbors including China and Russia. People just need to get along. We're all human beings, man. It may sound kind of hippie-ish, flower power, make love, not war, blah, 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 but seriously, we're all people. Everyone's different. Get over the fact that we're different. There's no need for war. Stick to your own country. Leave everybody else alone. He said he also plans to promote the FOIP during a planned visit to Southeast Asia later this month. Suga replaced Shinzo, Abe, who resigned due to poor health on September 16th, pledging to carry on Abe's hawkish diplomacy and security policies. Abe has been a driving force behind FOIP. Japan sees it as crucial to have access to sea lanes all the way to the Middle East, a key source of oil for the resource-poor island nation. Suga, a former chief cabinet secretary, has little experience in diplomacy. Balancing between the U.S., Japan's main security ally, and China, its top trading partner, will be tough, analysts say. The challenges of Japan-U.S. relations are not in themselves, but in where Japan stands when U.S.-China disputes intensify, said Yasushi Watanabe, an expert on U.S. diplomacy at Japan's Keio University. It would be best for Japan to take a pragmatic approach to China while maintaining the Japan-U.S. alliance as a cornerstone, he said. And it is indispensable for Japan to strengthen cooperation with the EU, Britain, Australia, and ASEAN. Japan hopes to regularize the Quad foreign ministers' talks and broaden their cooperation with other countries. That would be a major challenge for the Quad, said Jeff Kingston, Director of Asian Studies at Temple University, Japan. A shared threat perception of China does not mean shared views on what to do and if it's possible to build the Quad into something along the lines of NATO, he said. The U.S. and Australia would favor the idea, but Japan and India are ambivalent, and so is ASEAN. I have no idea what that is. He said, transforming the Quad into a collective security organization targeting China forces governments to choose sides. Beijing has generated an arc of anxiety in Asia, but there is a preference for dialogue and negotiations, not saber-rattling. China, in my opinion, is overstepping its bounds. They need to stay to themselves and leave everybody else alone. They are, to use a phrase, old southern phrase, they're getting too big for their britches. They need to quit thinking that they own the entire world and they can do whatever they want. Now, like I said, I'm not really for war or anything like that. Live and let live. But you need to stay to yourself. If you want to do things with other countries, or you fish in their seas or whatever, you need to talk and discuss it and stick to your word. Don't just say, yeah, and then sign some BS peace agreement or something like that, and then go back on your word. No. There should be severe sanctions, for stuff like that. They should not be allowed to do that. They should not be allowed to... Hell, they shouldn't be allowed to be doing what they do in their own daggone country. I mean, what they do to these poor people is... It's terrible. It's inhumane. They're monsters. I mean, you look at Germany in the early 1940s, and you see what came of that. That's what's happening now in China. Something needs to be done to stop it. Now, like I said, I'm not for war, but what can you really do? I mean, they are killing these innocent people and harvesting them. That's sick. They need to be stopped. They need to be knocked back down a few pegs. I mean, China is not the world's power. The U.S. isn't the world's power. Even though we like to think that we are, but I mean, really, the U.S. has troops in many, many, many other countries. No other countries really have that. I mean, you don't see large garrisons of German troops or Australian troops or anything like that here in the U.S. No, but we've got ours all the way over there. What, people need to have common decency. Everybody needs to stop this insane rhetoric that's going on in the world. People need to get along, or we are going to end up destroying ourselves. There's a saying by a very, very smart man, Einstein. Maybe you've heard of him. He's quoted as saying, "I do not know what weapons will be used to fight World War III, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones." Things are getting bad. You're not going to really hear about any of this in, the mainstream media. That's why, hopefully, the little bit of people who watch this, hopefully I've helped inform you of some of the things that's going on. If you like this and you want to see more of it, subscribe, like the video, share it, and, leave comments, let me know, and I will continue to do it. I kind of like to take weekends off some, something breaking happens, some big news, and yeah, I'll make a video and let you know, but my wife's off work, so kind of like to spend, our weekends together. But, if you like this, like I said, let me know, and I'll do more videos a day if possible. But, just get yourself ready for anything. I've got my pantry's full of food. I've got freeze-dried food, or, the Wise food in the tubs. I've got that put up. I've got firearms and quite a bit of ammunition. We've got some bug-out bags set up. You can kind of call me a prepper, me and my wife. But, like I said in the last video, it's better to be prepared and have it and not need it than to really need it and not have it. And by the time you realize you really need it, it's gone. You know, I kind of slept a little bit on it last time, and the last ammo shortage, I didn't have hardly any ammo for my weapons. I made sure I got plenty now. Every time I go grocery shopping, we try to buy at least, an extra little tray of canned food or something. Stuff that doesn't have to be heated up if need be. Just pop it open and eat it. Vegetables and stuff. You get your food in your pouches. All you gotta do is just add water. Just prepare, especially if you have a family. It's just me and my wife. We don't have any children, but we're still prepared. But nobody wants to see bad things happen and then seeing their children suffer. Nobody wants that. So do what you can to prepare. I know things are tight, but just do what you can. If you can food, put them in the mason jar, boil them in a big pot if you have to help, seal them up. But do whatever you can to prepare. Times are getting bad, and the foreseeable future is looking very, very dim. But stay vigilant, America. Prepare yourself for anything. And I will see y'all in the next video.